Hey, Spuddies! Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Let's Play Galactic Civilization for Supernova. Today we're going to be playing as the Korath clan, which are a totalitarian faction. They like to exterminate other factions. I thought that would be an interesting way to play the game, considering these guys are new in the latest patch, the 1.9 patch, which I am being sponsored to talk about here. Do go ahead and check out the links in the description. There will be links to the game itself. Without further ado, let's go ahead and check out the Korath clan. We're going to be changing up a few things. So we'll be militant, so we'll get extra starting control. I don't know if that's super important to me. In fact, I would maybe even go the other direction, but I am kind of more interested in playing them as they were designed, as they were vanilla designed. I'm going to bump up the galaxy difficult to bright. Normal game pacing, normal research pacing, occasional civilization proximity. I think I'm going to set things to be distant civilizational proximity. I'm also going to set the galaxy size to medium and the number of sectors to a few. We're going to just kind of change things up from the original game that we played. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. We've got a whole bunch of random AIs. So it's going to be a lot of players. Recommended players for a medium map is 18. So let's go ahead and get started. That means a lot of people that we're going to go to war with, a lot of people we're going to conquer. And this is definitely a faction where you want to focus on militaristic things. So I think the very, very early game is going to be focused on exploration and then not so much expansion. We're actually going to be focused on the militaristic side of things and actually building up a military to conquer the other players, to try to be hyper aggressive and attack them before they're ready, and then to convert their empire, populations into, nerve stapled biomass. That's the general plan. We are playing the Korath clan. The Korath clan was always the loudest voice calling for annihilation of all non-Drengen. If you've played the original or earlier Galactic Civ, these were kind of related to the Dreadlords. But we have, welcome to the galaxy, we are in this sector right here, and we can see clusters of stars in this spiraling arm. I think our main objective should be to find out what's going on at these variety of stars. Let's go to our executive orders. We've draft colonists, print money, add shock troopers. Interesting. So this gives +5 conquest rating to a ship to allow us to conquer worlds a little bit more early. I do think that drafting colonists could be a reasonable thing to do. So the people of my capital are unhappy, which is confusing. Why is your approval so low? They're upset at peace, they're upset at taxes, the population capacity, and you're unprotected. Well, okay, so we can start to deal with some of those. So first things first, let's deal with the fact that the planet is unprotected. We don't have military ships to protect the planet, so we're gonna have to work on that. We have the flagship here that's able to survey. We have a bomber, so let's put the bomber in orbit of the planet, and that should take away their lack of protection, which will bring the happiness up just a smidge. Their expectations are still quite high, so we're going to want to get a few of these guys off world. They would prefer if we were at war, and also if we weren't at population capacity. And now it's important to remember that approval is super, super important, because the amount of resources that you produce from your planetary inputs is actually multiplied by your approval. So if I have 10 manufacturing and 50% approval, I'm only going to get 50% of my manufacturing. So that's something that I do have to keep in mind. I need to bring up the approval of these people. We do have a decent number of lava and manufacturing locations. We have a precognitive sensor. We also have not placed our capital city yet. Probably good that we do that. So not a very good research planet. We've got influence over here. Oh, planetfall. So if we were to put the capital city here, we'd get +1 level, giving us gross income and pop cap. I think that's probably the best place for it to go. So we'll put the capital city right there, and then we can do a capital mainframe, and we can do the industrial centers. This is a civilization achievement. It will give you +1 manufacturing. I do think that's worth it. There's a volcanic rift right there, and if I do the manufacturing building right there, that will actually get us a total of a 12% manufacturing boost, +1 base manufacturing, and a little bit of pollution. Pollution has to do with food, but we're not worried about food, although this is a really good food production planet. We're way more interested in getting our production up, because that's going to be what dictates how many ships we can build. But increasing our approval and increasing our population limit has made our people slightly happier. But yeah, we definitely need to get that approval up a little bit, and that'll probably be involved with getting entertainment districts. Let's have a look at the science screen. Currently, the 2 randomly rolled texts were Imperial Doctrine, which I think would be good for us to unlock the civilization screen. So let's grab Imperial Doctrine. We'll be able to assign policies there. We also have a siege ship that'll be useful for orbital bombardment, and another bomber. Well, let's group the siege ship with the bomber, and we'll have them explore nearby planets. My flagship, I would like to examine artifacts and anomalies with my flagship, which I think is what we're going to do. My shipyard is idle. I think we're going to go for a couple of probes and try to use them to explore the different planets that are available. Cora's influence is boosting. Our economy is robust. Leader candidates have arrived, so we can play around with leader stuff. And this is actually quite important to do early, because we can have these special ships, although we need hyperwave radio before we can do that. that. We could get a Minister of Exploration, a Minister of Colonization. This guy is not very loyal, but he is a really good commander. This guy has a really high loyalty. This guy has a really good command, so he'd be a really good leader. So who's our best diligence guy right now? Got an 8 diligence guy right here. I'm going to hire the 8 diligence guy. What's he do? Renowned archaeologist, excluded inheritance, and he's also ethical. So I'm going to grab Eric Ragal, and I'm going to make him my Minister of Exploration. That will get us +1 move on our ships and +8 ship range. So that's where he'll live for a little while, although he would actually make a really good Minister of Science too. +1 random tech slots and 10%. And then I could recruit Briff Pammer to be the Minister of Exploration. The Minister of Colonization, I guess Jeff Regal could be the Minister of Colonization, and that will get me an 8% approval boost across all my words. And that's an 8% like resource boost, realistically. So we've managed to get approval up to 56%. We're now getting 56% of our manufacturing. Unlocks the civilization screen, allows us to assign policies. So we also unlock the planetary generator, the supply depot, we can a policy assignment, and max enacted policies. We're going to go ahead and choose a new technology. This is the sort of game where we want to focus on military stuff. The 2 free warships are going to be super useful, so we'll go for armed shuttles, because we are definitely a militaristic warmonger. When it comes to our civilization screen, we have coerced colonization, which will give us growth. We have heart of the empire. Land exploitation would give us gross income. Not bad, but it would ultimately only lead to like +2 money, which is not that much. Heart of empire would give us like influence, but coerced colonization would massively reduce our yield across all of these fronts, but give us a huge amount of population growth. I like the idea of heart of empire because it has no downside, so we'll go for heart of empire. We're also going to set our tax rate to low. Right now it's medium, which has a approval modification, so I'm going to go for normal, and we should see approval climb even if we see income drop. I think I would rather have approval right now, so that's what we're going to focus on. Let's make sure we loop around and scout all of the possible planets, because we do actually want to settle cities eventually, although we will go for probes first. Exploration, I think, is more important at this current time. Yeah, I'd love to see that. 73% approval. We're now up to 72.8% approval in the capital world. I regret building my industrial center here now. I may cancel it and move the industrial center to over here, because if I'm thinking, this gives +2 level to military that's adjacent, so a really nice starport could go there, because I have 3 things here that boost military, and if I built them in like a little loop like this, we could get a really strong military improvement right here. So I think that's what we're going to do. Industrial center here. I want the planetary generator. That's also going to be a colony unique that gives +1 manufacturing baseline and gets a little bit. And then we're also going to go for the supply depot that benefits a bit from that. And then we'll loop that around and we'll put the starport in the center here, and that will give us a lot of ship manufacturing. And that's the thing that we're looking for from our planets, is to get as much manufacturing and ship manufacturing. Other resources will just be kind of like a byproduct of our other activities. Yeah, a little bit of a mess up there. It's fine. I managed to catch the mistake fairly early. It'll put us behind slightly, which sucks, but that's life. We did survey an anomaly. We discovered an artifact of Dreadlord origin. We have a leader that's available to be assigned. That is Matthew something or other. Let's go capture that capsule right there. We have a technology available. Space weapons. We don't need to go straight for space weapons. Subspace scanning would give us ship range and sensor range. Be very useful. So I'll grab that. We did get a couple of Guardians. I'm going to send those to other solar systems to just get that little bit of exploration in. We don't have a need to defend ourselves early in the game. It's unlikely that we get attacked. So using defensive ships for a little bit of exploration is fine. So we could secure a weapon artifact or dismantle it for resources. 150 treasury is fine. I'm going to secure the weapon artifact because what does it do? It damages an enemy fleet 25% damage. So I wish I had taken the money because that's not a particularly good ability. I guess it could mean the difference between winning an early war and not, but it would have to be a very close war for that to matter. And ideally, we would get ourselves into a position where we don't have to fight any close wars. Okay, we gained a probe. Let's go ahead and continue to explore. My main focus is on the exploration of these stars because I'm looking for colonizable planets like this, like Fleming. Fleming is a pretty bad planet in of itself. However, it does have a little bit of science, a little bit of food, and a little bit of influence, so it will feed our capital. In theory, it could also be a nice food world one day, but I don't know if that's what we're going to do with it. All right, let's send this fleet over to this location. I think it would be okay to draft some colonists here. I'm going to draft colonists from my capital and send it to occupy this planet. It's not a particularly good planet, but it will give me a little bit of food, a little bit of influence. And later on, I will actually be able to upgrade the planet with things like recruiting stations. I can upgrade it with, I mean, even the recruiting station might actually be good to go for here because +2 growth is actually really damn good. So I tell you what, since this is my capital world, I am going to go for a recruiting station on it. I'm going to build that right there. And now in theory, we're growing quite a bit faster. That's a 20%, 40% growth increase in this planet. So we should start to see more population. And the more population we have, the more we can draft colonists, the more we can send people around. Right, we have explored another anomaly. I'm going to put you on auto survey to see if you can find those. So we can send the precursor drive home. We can harvest it for thulium, or we can sell it on the market. 300 treasury is a lot, especially if we're planning to run a deficit economy where we don't make any money from taxes, so that we can bootstrap our economy. We have found Durantium. Durantium would be really, really nice for orbital stuff. We do want to make sure that we fully explore all the rings of this planet. Looks like a great planet for manufacturing, so asteroid mining should be a priority for us if we can in fact get control of these. We're going to colonize Fleming 1. This will be our first colony, and that will lead to the resources from this planet being fed to Korath, and we can in fact add extra things to this as well. I think what I probably would like to do would be get something like the space elevator, but we need the space elevator tech and Durantium for this. But that would get us +1 minerals, which would then be fed to the capital. So that extra food is just useful. The cultural input is also useful. Just generally, we have slightly improved the capital from a technological, food, and cultural input point of view, which means we can get away with more pollution. We definitely want to get the Helios ore extractor, but I don't know if that's what we want to do straight away. There's a +2 research location here that could be great for this capital mainframe. Although I'm trying to remember, research districts only get 1% per level. So yeah, the capital mainframe will go here. That'll get us +1 base research and a 20% research boost. That'll be good to just get our economy kickstarted over here in the capital. All right, we managed to find a really tiny planet. Let's go ahead and keep probing around. We do a little probing. My flagship has actually leveled up. Crew quarters gives hit points, command bridge gives moves, and the communications terminal gives sensor range. If this ship is going to be serving as a military ship for a very long time, I think crew quarters is the play to maximize its health. The more health the ship has, the longer it can stay in combat, which in theory should lead to it doing more damage. Okay, so we've met another faction. We will fake a smile and nod as if we understand it. Proceed to close the incoming message. So we met another faction. We have completed subspace scanning, so we have better sensor range, better ship range, and we can see subspace streams. We've also gained a bunch of new drives and new abilities. We're not worried about custom designing ships just yet. Getting +1 movement would be nice. Space war tactics. This would give us siege ships, Xeno factories. This would lead to space elevators, and space elevators are very useful. Asteroid mining would be super useful. It's a question of, do I want to research asteroid mining in 9 turns, or do I want to go for research districts and get a reroll on the tech candidates? The 50% research bonus is really damn nice. And this would also lead to the technological capital, which we could build in the capital to gain a significant amount of research points. It's a 20% research boost. I think we will go for the research districts. Trying to go for that, trying to balance, like, do I go for my early economy? Do I go for this? Do I go for that? I would also like maybe a couple of constructors, and we could also get supply ships to feed the capital. Although I think we're way more interested in claiming land. It would be nice to get control of these asteroid fields. So I think a constructor would be the play here. Let me zoom out. Do I see any planets that I can colonize? I don't see any planets right now. Well, I see one. There's one by my capital system. This one right here, Kinda. And I think that is worth colonizing because it's +1 manufacturing. It's also a class 3 world, which is not very good. I have another probe. I'm going to send this probe in this general direction. We found a ton of anomalies over here, which is fantastic for the flagship. We did in fact find another planet over here, Lili Borea 1. This is a great planet to take control of. 2 manufacturing, 3 research. That's going to really kickstart our campaign. Got the Guardian running around out here. The probes are doing work, finding that tech, that interest. You want to look for these orbital rings because that tells you where the planets are. We could wait 10 months. I'm just going to pay the money, wait 10 months to get the free talk to other players tech. All right, good job discovering stuff. What else did you find? Okay, 2 planets over here, 2 really good support planets. Not very good in a general sense, but the fact that they have manufacturing, science, yeah, that's a lot of manufacturing we're going to be able to feed to Korath. So we're going to be producing colony ships for a while. Let's now send this siege fleet over to this faraway planet. +5% gross income on all worlds. It's not bad. That's going to just about mean that we no longer lose money. Our taxes are very low. Oh, what's this? Oh, a theoretical potential class 22 planet that could be a core world. So that'd be something we would maybe look to colonize. Although I think core worlds aren't quite as important in Galciv 4 as it is just having good yields on your planets and then feeding them towards another world. Keep on doing a little probing. We found Tejat. It's a fantastic support planet. 4 manufacturing, 2 science, and 2 money. So who's my least happy citizen? Looks like it's this guy. I'm going to board you onto the colony ship and send you off to, well, this is my best. It's a 4-2. I mean, the class 22 Amazing World is nice, but it's not as good. It's feeding my capital with a 4-2. So let's see if we can go grab that 4-2 planet. What are you? You're just a probe. Okay, you're fine. You can't do any damage. Yeah, I think we're just going to focus on getting ships out, settlers, ideally. The pollution is quite high on this planet, which is negatively affecting the population growth. I'm totally fine with that. We've probed down here. We found a class 32 world. Now, that's a great money world. You can see there it's got 11 finance. This will be a fantastic planet to support our economy. Definitely going to be the trade capital of my empire. Almost certainly, especially dependent on whatever these worlds have. Oh yeah, great support port planets down here too. I think that does now inform me that I'm going to take out Heart of Empire. I'm going to plug in coerced colonization to double the population growth. There's enough planets to justify increasing my growth rate by 100% so that I can make sure to have enough population to feed my need for colonies. So I'm also glad that I built that recruiting center to keep my population growing. A very different game from the time we played as the Yor, because the Yor very much so are limited by population and manufacturing in a way that other factions are kind of more limited by population in terms of time, whereas the Yor are limited by population in terms of manufacturing. So it's a very different puzzle you have to play. Okay, so we've improved basically everything here. We're waiting for the starport. We could temporarily put a manufacturing thing there, but I think what I would really like to do is to get down 3 entertainment districts. They're relatively expensive, but they do give you a long-term return on investment in terms of a planet's happiness. If I were to put a trio of these next to the capital city, we could get a decent amount of happiness. I'm trying to think where would be the most reliable place. I think right here feels good in this configuration. Yeah, you want them in like little triplets, or I could put 2 here for now or 2 here for now. I'm going to get enough manufacturing to the point where I don't need to build a bajillion manufacturing things, and I do want to make sure that I have high happiness, because a small increase in approval is actually a huge increase in manufacturing, especially when you start getting a lot of multipliers going on in here. So let's do entertainment district right here, entertainment district right here, and then an entertainment district right here. And this should lead to, over the course of 30 turns, a significant increase in the approval of this planet. Now, we also have cultural progression that we need to talk about. We are a totalitarianist society, so if we click Iron Fist, we will get 100 control, and pretty soon we will get more culture points and be able to take more things. So for example, we can get double ship experience, we can get unrest reduced across all core worlds, and security measures are more effective. I like the idea of double ship experience, where ships can level up very quickly. So this fighter now, as far as I'm concerned, has basically fulfilled his job. I'm going to get him set up to be a garrison on Nigel 1, which will be one of our planets. Our core worlds we want to have garrisons on. So this requires extreme colonization for Thindor 2. It's a toxic planet. We're not worried about toxic planets. We're worried about grabbing just good support worlds that feed their resources to the capital. You can see when I click on Fleming, those resources are being sent. Can you delete upgrades to planets? You can destroy orbital upgrades, which makes me curious. If I buy a recruiting station on Fleming 2, does that actually lead to more growth on Korath? No, it doesn't. Interesting. Now what happens if I destroy this orbital upgrade? It gave growth to this planet, which is interesting. I'm going to let that play out and see what happens. Can I overpop my minor colonies? Is that something I can do? These are questions and things that I don't have answers to, right? Because I haven't played the game enough to have answers on these things. Okay, my probe is doing a great job down here. It's found a ton of support planets that will be able to help out Tidius. Let's keep searching. We found another player. I have no idea what they're saying, and so I will fake a smile and nod at them. Now, my people are a little bit upset because of the coerced colonization, but that is just the natural consequence of the situation that we're in. So this place gets to its growth threshold, and then I think it just stays there. We have another occupier, a planetary thing. So we're already occupying the 4-2. There is a 2-3 and 2-1 over here. There's a 1-0-1. I would like to get Nigel. Nigel's not a priority because I would rather have higher quality production and then go take over that planet with military means if someone else takes it. So I mean, they're welcome to it. So I'm just going to send my colony ship to go grab these high quality support worlds. If the world's class is like below 10, I don't think you can even turn it into a core world, and so it'll always just be like a world that feeds another planet. You need like 2 more occupiers to keep the flood glowing. Flagship has stumbled across a curious thing. We can get a prototype design, we can get Prometheon, or we can gain 600 treasury. 600 treasury is insane, and I'm not too worried about prototypes. Prototypes are cool in a militaristic game, but it's just not the way that I want to play. I want to focus on using my money. We could draft colonists again, but I'm worried about, like, I don't know if draft colonists has a cooldown. It would be super nice to just get that a few turns soon. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to go for it, and maybe pushing hard for early settling might like pay off. I'm now also going to continue to explore. We did find, I think these guys are a minor civilization, maybe, although they have 2 planets, which means they probably aren't. Usually minor civilizations will only have a single planet. Awesome. We got asteroid mining, which means we do now have asteroid miners and mining lasers. Choose new tech. Let's go for space weapons, because I just noticed that whoever these guys are, they colonized this planet planet that I was making my way towards, annoyingly. So I'm going to send you over to colonize this instead. So whoever these are, we're going to be going to war with them first, and we're going to be trying to conquer all of their planets. I think asteroid miners can only mine asteroids inside your territory, so I'm going to go for the asteroid mines here. This will get me 0.1 production yield for my capital world. You can see right there, mined asteroid 0.2. It's not a lot from mined asteroids, but it does help quite a bit. Send you to mine those asteroids as well. It's not much, but again, every trickle of production really makes a difference. Really, really annoyed at this. They beat me by a turn. I'm also going to start auto-exploring my probes rather than manually doing it. It seems unnecessary for me to manually explore now that I've explored my local area and I know the basic planets that I'll be going for. I'm definitely going to be going to war with whoever these guys are at the shield. There's space weapons. We're going to go for space war tactics so we can start to focus on defeating our enemies militarily. We've got another occupier, so you're heading... You should go there. You should head this way because you probably will get enough destination range once we colonize this. So the inhabitants of Korath have come across a primitive sentient species, so the planet can come with slaves, which will give us nihilism or individualism. I like the idea of the nihilism boost. Boom. Fits my build quite nicely. So we can gain the universal translator technology. We don't care what other people think of us. Yeah, negative. Like our diplomacy is mostly used to declare war. In fact, I'm already planning a war with these guys. If I go to the Galactic Bazaar, we can buy things here. I'm not super interested in that. I'm more interested in the diplomacy of like who these guys are and how they rank up to us. So they're a little bit stronger than us across a variety of dimensions. But I'm hoping that my emphasis on military technology will give me an advantage. I'm also starting to now colonize even more planets, which should start to feed my capital even more and hopefully lead to a nice production boost. Okay, shipyard idle. I think it's time that we could get ourselves a couple of constructors. But first, we're going to get one more occupier because there is that small planet beside our capital that is worth getting control of. So they want asteroid mining and they would give me a whole bunch of other techs. I'm totally going to accept this because it's a bunch of free tech that'll help me out. We could sell the mineral scanner or get the mineral scanner. I'm going to take it into our vault. This gives +2 minerals on a target world. And if I target my capital, this will just straight up give me a manufacturing boost. And this planet just now has more minerals. And we're slowly building up to an insane level of manufacturing. It's the direction we want to go. Main focus right now is getting that approval up so that we can get up to our maximum potential of manufacturing. I think we do want the space elevator. However, I think focusing on military technology is going to be the thing that helps us out the most. We're no longer going to be doing much colonization, so I don't think coerced colonization matters. I think I would be more interested in something like shipyard stimulus, giving us military ship production. That feels a little bit more important. We got 2 free constructors, so Durantium is important. I would also like a couple of star bases around the capital. I think an economic star base would be good here, just to give us that little bit of technology, a little bit of construction power, like right there. Right now it gives a 5% manufacturing and 5% income boost, but we can get a starbase factory, slowly just build up the capital world. And that is the goal, that is the plan. 5% might not seem like much. It is a significant amount though over the course of a game. Boarding the last colonist. Let's go ahead and grab this city right there. That will feed its resources to the capital. And we will bring this siege fleet to a position to strike Tejat 1. Oh, there was a planet right here that got stolen from me. Well, that's unfortunate, but that also means that that's a good place for us to strike first. We'll strike here, then Tejat, and then we'll head for the heart of the beast. So yeah, we're already preparing for war. We managed to buff our approval with our entertainment. 7% from this one entertainment district, which is really nice. We're going to build ourselves a mining starbase around this asteroid mine. That will get us a income of Durantium. I do think it makes sense for us to go for mining drones to get as much Durantium as possible. We're getting 0.4 per turn, which will lead to... It's a really good expenditure, in my opinion, of our potential resources on Durantium. Defensive studies is completed. We now have access to hull plating, star-based defense systems, advanced defenses, all sorts of cool stuff, and our ships are just generally harder to kill. The Durantium processor would be a great follow-up building if we went down this path. I think evasion is helpful. It means our ships are better defended, so we'll go for evasive tactics. We're going for more militaristic stuff. We're going to colonize Nigel 1. We can now get ready to colonize here. One of these planets was stolen, but we're more interested in the 312 support planet. I'm not fussed about that, and this will be an economic powerhouse location over here. That is the plan. Speaking of Nigel, this is a planet that we're going to want a governor on, so we want to try to find a good candidate. Obviously, someone with high loyalty is ideal, so Jimmy here is our guy, because low loyalty governors are not good, and they have -10 for having to be managing a thing. So now we can actually control the city planet of Nigel. Looks like it has good population potential, good research potential as well. Not so great manufacturing or anything like that. I think we're going to place the core capital world right here. This will get us a nice boost to our population cap. We will build, what do you do? +1 approval and tourism. You're an orchard. Okay, 10% tourism on this planet is isn't bad. I guess if I go for the planetary generator and the supply depot, that would get me a little bit of manufacturing, +1 manufacturing here, 10% manufacturing here with a little bit of approval should lead to a pretty significant boost in our manufacturing capabilities. So I am going to go for the planetary generator right there and the supply depot right there. And then I will build a shipyard so this planet can contribute to our military as well. Slowly building up the production side of things first. I think that's the right thing to do. The actual shipyard, I think we want to build a couple more. I think the Starbase factory here is the right play. That's another 3% manufacturing for the planet. 0G scaling, another 4% manufacturing. So now we're up to 12% manufacturing boost from this Starbase. I think we would also like to get another constructor or two. One to protect these assets over here with a military Starbase. You're going to occupy Nigel to protect it. So yeah, we definitely want to protect these planets with a military Starbase. So I think a Starbase is the right play. We'll get a couple more constructors and then we will probably need, if I look at these clusters of asteroid fields, like there's a big cluster right there, like at least 3 asteroid miners, and then we'll kind of look into what we need to do next. Now, when it comes to cultural progression, let's take a little peek here. We could go for double ship experience or unrest reduced across all core worlds. Nihilism is detached, supply ships, 10% income. Let's see, obedience. Let's go for prestige. I like the idea of ships leveling up faster. And then when we get our next culture point, we might go for obedience here. This will lower citizen expectations by 20%, and citizens with the totalitarian trait will get extra manufacturing. Secret police just gives us secret police, which sounds cool, but I don't know. Ooh, not having negative side effects on factions could be quite good. All right, my flagship has the ability to level up again. I think I would like the extended reinforced hull, so I'm going to save up on the Durantium front rather than just crew quarters. It's an extra 4 base hit points, which is super good. There's evasive tactics. We now have weapon jammers. Let's choose a new tech. Colonial clinic would give us extra growth. We could upgrade our housing. We could upgrade our agriculture. It would also give us our first terraforming capability. +4 ship range and +1 move seems quite good to get around. +1 fleet moves on the slipstream accelerator could be really good for a support ship. So you need to be more than 3 tiles away. So I want this to be a military base that protects both of these planets from invasion. Dedicate starbase to protecting your civilization and its assets. Now, as far as I'm aware, planets that are near a military starbase cannot be invaded, and this is a very strong thing. It has 100 health, it has 3 of each attack, and a little bit of defense. Shield strength, military starbase, armor rating, quite good, quite good. And we could always upgrade it with starbase defense systems, which would give it extra shield strength. In fact, like, why don't we just do that right now? And then we know for a fact that this thing is going to be very hard to break. Also, I believe it gives nearby ships this benefit too. We can even go the next level up. I don't think we need to, but that would mean our capital is basically unkillable for now, which is the goal. A goal is to make sure that this is protected and this section over here is protected so that we can go on the offensive and use defensive fortresses to defeat early game fleets. We discovered a hidden outpost. We can turn it into a colony. We can gain a diplomat, or we can gain I think gaining a class 5 planet is always nice, even if it is all the way out here. Oh, I didn't think it would be like all the way out here. Interesting. So we just discovered a class 5 outpost in this random ass backwater. Class 8 marginal. Yeah, planet has to be class 10 or higher to actually get a governor. So this is just going to sit here. It's weird. It might mean I meet some people though. Kind of cool. Constructor is in position. We're going to construct a military starbase with the view of defending the pair of planets here. And you can see it has a bubble around it, which it will protect. My capital has finished the 3 entertainment districts, which should have led to, yeah, it looks like a plus 20-something% increase in people's happiness. Let's grab the Helios ore. How important is influence to me? I don't know if influence is that important to me. I mean, getting like a little bit of early cultural districts could be really useful. I don't think I need agricultural, although we are starting to run out of food. Part of the problem here is that the pollution is really high on this planet. But if we were to go for agricultural districts and get a couple of them, we could get a significant boost to our food. So in order to keep my people fed, I will get myself a couple of agricultural districts as well, because we don't want to run low on food. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's good to run out of food. Might be a little bit of a hot take there. So let's plop down another one. This is going to be my well, do I need a communication starbase? I don't think I do. I don't think places can benefit from multiple economic starbases. I guess we could mine some Prometheus. I'll send a constructor down this way. What are we working on? We're working on some asteroid miners. That totally makes sense. That's what we want to be doing. We're going to colonize Tidius over here. We can lose a tile, gain pacifism, progressivism, research, free beam magnification, array, ship upgrade, and totalitarianism discounts. I will take the totalitarianism discounts. Slipstream accelerator, ship range, moves, awesome. Let's go ahead and grab space elevators. It just seems like a good tech to grab this early into the game. We've got our first fleet here, and pretty soon we're going to want to start to design new ships. So that'll be something that we work on in the near future. Just want to get these asteroid mines up so we can start feeding Korath. They want universal translator. They give me modules. I reject your trade deals, good sir. I refuse. Your people have nothing good to give me. Okay, we grabbed the most important thing. That is an insane amount of asteroids that are being fed into my capital now. 2.5 mined asteroid yield. That's insanely insanely good. Awesome. Look at all that yield just flowing towards my capital. We probably only need one more asteroid miner, and then we can get to work on actually building military ships and designing a military. Very exciting times are coming soon. Okay, space elevators are completed. Starbase refinery, xenobiology, energy deflection theory. I kind of want to do space war tactics. This will get me frigates and siege weapons, so we'll go for that. We are gearing up for our first war. So we can go for the Enforcer, we can go for the Thug, or we can go for the Punisher. Let's have a look for a new design. I'm going to design my first micro flagship. The Slipstream Accelerator costs Prometheon. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, that changes my plan then. And so instead, we're going to start manufacturing ships. And we're going to focus on the Punisher for now. I will produce 4 Punishers to begin the construction of the Giga Invasion Fleet. Managed to colonize Mordred. We also need to get a governor in Tidius. Let's have a look at our leaders. You've got pretty high loyalty, which is kind of what I care about for my governors. Just for now, we'll optimize this later, but for now we just need high loyalty. And you're going to keep those stats nice and high as well, which is really nice. So Tidius is now a fully fledged planet. There's a good spot for +1 population right there. Let's go ahead and plonk that down. We need to think about where our manufacturing center is going to be. The Harmony crystals, good for, approval. Influence over here. I think we're just going to do a planetary generator right there with a supply depot right there. That'll give us a small boost, and we'll come back and continue to develop this planet later. I do like that the resources from this planet all the way over here is somehow making it like through this to here. I love that. 0.1 production is getting through from that distance. Amazing. So there's going to be a lot of hitting end turn while we wait for our fleet to be built. We want to have one really strong fleet with a siege ship to get the job done. All right, let's get this Punisher around this world to guard it. Would be nice to get another settler down. So we're now officially at war. 3 people just declared war on us, which is awesome. It's exactly what we like to see. Let's go for hyperdrive optimization so we can move our ships around the galaxy more efficiently. We are going to plug in defensive measures to give our ships extra hit points. We don't need range right now. We just need the defenses to keep our ships alive. So who am I at war with? Let's go ahead and check the diplomacy screen. So I am at war with the Terran Resistance, with the Baratak Grove, and the Luxar Dominion. So I think my primary enemy is going to be the Grove here to the right. And I think I might be able to take Jotunheim right now. So I'm going to send my fleet over there preemptively. My shipyard is now also idle, but we did just unlock bigger ships. These are mass 10 ships rather than mass 5s. And they take up 2 logistics. They're currently producing 39.9 military score. And so we want to produce things that are cheaper than that so that we can kind of keep the amount of units spamming out. So what have you got? You've got Helios rockets plus lasers. My dagger has lasers plus hull plating, which increases the armor rating. And you've got gas cannons plus these. I think I'm going to go ahead and start a new design from the Dagger M2. This will be a frigate. I'm going to get rid of the hull plating. How do I get it off? You know what? I'm just going to start a new ship. So the current construction cost is 30. I want to keep that below 40 if I can. Yeah, let's go with the combo of a Gauss cannon with a particle beam, giving this good medium and short range engagement. This will be the battle frigate Mark 0. If I can get a tiny bit more manufacturing in my capital, we can build these in a single turn. So let's see what we can do. What if I trained you as a worker? Would that push me over the threshold? It does. So now we can get the battle frigates in 1 turn. So I'm going to queue up 5 of those because those are going to be the main design that we use. She wants defensive studies, but she'll give you a bunch of tech for it. So I'll take that. Now, my capital has finished things. Approval is almost maxed out. We have over here the Razar's Lift, which would give a significant boost to manufacturing here, which seems like a fine thing to build. 10% manufacturing across the planet, plus another 10% from being boosted. Perhaps building it right here would be the play. It'll boost these 2, plus it'll get boosted. That's a 30% manufacturing boost, which should then lead to a 30% shipyard manufacturing boost. So we'll go for Razar's Lift. It's a galactic achievement, so it is a wonder. Only one can be built in the entire galaxy. And we are going to implement starship specifications to increase the hull of our ships. I want to make sure that I did not go below the threshold of 1 turning these. No, we're fine now. Okay, we're good. So another player has declared war on me. Another 2 players have declared war on me. So we are public enemy number 1. And which again was the plan all along. We are beginning the invasion of Jotunheim. Looks like it's 1 month remaining. Apparently we're defending this, but I don't think that's correct. I see. We instantly conquered it. So Jotunheim now belongs to me. The recruiting station seems pointless in here, so I'm going to destroy that, and I'm going to replace it with something a little bit better. Similarly, the recruiting station here should probably get killed. So what would I put in Jotunheim? Honestly, I think Space Elevator is the correct play almost all the time here. That's +1 manufacturing to my capital, meaning that we get slowly pushed up into the realm where our manufacturing just starts to go completely haywire, both in terms of ship capabilities. Plus 100 influence to all of our worlds. Very nice. That'll boost our borders slightly. But we should see the influence of this area start to flip. Excellent. So we've conquered this planet, and now we need to look to maybe start taking out some of the star bases around here. These star bases are going to be a bit of a thorn in my side until I can get enough combat power in the general vicinity. So I think what we might do is try to group up all of our guys. Room for one more ship in there. Maybe we can do a beam volley onto this and see how much damage that will do. Yeah, right now we can't actually clear out star bases, but that's fine. Also, I need to find my survey ship here. I'm going to give him a beam magnification array and move him down here because he's going to be commanding his own fleet as well. He no longer is a survey ship. He is a combat leader. But let's focus on conquering worlds. I think that is the play for us. We got our constructor over here. I think it is natural for us to build a military starbase here to defend our planet. That'll at least require them to kill something before they can go straight for the planet. And if we upgrade it, that will make it quite a bit tougher to break as well. There's +1 movement from our hyperdrive optimization, which should cut off the number of turns it takes us to get around the galaxy. 10% capacity on our ships could be really useful. It might allow us to make more optimized ships, so I will take that. We could continue to make colony ships. I don't think it's a priority for us now that we're at war. We're up to 49 construction power, which means we might be able to make the missile frigate with a pair of Helios rockets, because these are quite a bit more expensive. They cost 48 to produce. So this will be the missile frigate 0, and the advantage of the missile frigate is it's slightly more expensive, but it comes with a slightly better... The fact that it attacks early is a big deal, so it does its damage fairly early into the battle. We do want to build laser frigates, but not yet. Let's produce a few missile frigates to join the fray. Okay, we conquer this planet next turn. I've got another battle frigate coming in. I am technically at war with Iconia, so I can kill their probes as they wander into my territory, which I will do because that gets this guy like a little bit of experience. And also to screw them. Tejat is under siege. It will take us 2 months to take it out. Decent amount of planetary defense here. Yeah, should be able to blast that city apart pretty quick. Now, if you zoom in, you can see little beam attacks hitting the planet, which I love. I love the attention to detail in this game. It's fantastic. Let's do a little diplomacy check with these guys. I have better ship military power. I have better faction power. Similar tech and production. They're better economic. Yeah, generally, I'm in an okay position when I compare to these guys. So if I can take them out and take over their empire, I should be in a good position to take on the other players too. The most important thing is my capital world, which is the seat of my power right now. We've conquered Tejat. Let's go ahead and kill this ship. I don't have the movement capabilities for that. Maybe you can catch him. There we go. Nice catch. You caught that fighter. You'll fire at each other. You should succeed. You should take some damage, but you should succeed. Let's go for a cultural district here as well. And then in between those two, we'll put an entertainment district. And then that should cap off my manufacturing at 100%, meaning I get even more shipyard capabilities. Coming in over here, we have managed to increase the manufacturing quite a bit. The happiness is quite high. We could get the governor's manor, which would give us extra loyalty. Higher loyalty is good. The more loyal your governor is, the better off you are. It's a long time to build, and it does cost urantium. This planet is not specialized for anything in particular. Right now, it's okay at manufacturing. If we wanted to focus this planet on manufacturing, we could specialize the population towards manufacturing, which should lead us to have higher approval, and then by virtue of that, higher manufacturing as well. So I think specializing into workers will increase our approval and increase our manufacturing, thus leading to overall just an increase in the production capabilities of this planet. And that's something that I think is important to us. While this planet could technically be good as a research location, we do need to get a minimum amount of production for that. It also has a decent capability as a housing district, which is kind of an interesting idea. So I think what I might do is grab a housing district here, boom, like so, then come out to this planet and give it a recruitment center, which will give it +2 growth, allowing it to grow quite a bit faster than it would without it. And we can start to look into maybe building this planet up because it doesn't have very good input. So I think the play might be to build a lot of population in here. And then by having a lot of population, you get a lot of inputs via that. Because like each of these workers gives you 1.5 manufacturing and a tiny little bit of influence, right? And if you have citizens, they give you kind of a more varied diet. Like, so for example, if you look at these basic citizens, you get a little bit of manufacturing, a little bit of input, a little bit of research, whereas like this guy, he gives more on the cash side of things. See here, gross income +4. But the problem with that is the gross income is getting multiplied by 10%. So I think I'm going to convert everyone over to, you might be better as a regular citizen. So I'll train you as a basic citizen because you're pretty good at that. Your diligence is 5, which gets us 1 manufacturing. Honestly, I don't need the income or the research. So I'm going to train all of my guys as workers. Technically, I get more yields from citizens, but even this very small increase in manufacturing leads to a rather large increase on the shipyard end of things. We've got another planet that we want to handle. We will, of course, go for the shipyard in here, and I'm going to train both of these. Well, you're trained as a farmer, so what does that get us if you're trained as a farmer? That gets us 16% food. Don't care. Let's train you as a worker. We need that base production. Really, really important that we get that base production to get these planets actually building up. We could produce a lot of food here, for sure. Bunch of wetland with food boosts, potentially. Also possible to build like a couple of housing districts. The thing to do first would be to get another manufacturing district to get us a slight boost to our manufacturing capabilities over here. This is another shipyard that we have. So this is a trade ship. I think we go for just a couple of supply ships over here to feed yourself and build yourself up to be a little bit better. Do you know what? For a first episode focusing on militaristic stuff and conquest, we've managed to take 2 minor planets. We have a fleet capable of potentially invading some real planets over here. Now we can't quite take on star bases yet. We are getting close to being able to do that. Maybe a little bit slightly better tech. I do have a really interesting tech coming through with the orbital ship assembly. That'll be a ton of fun. But yeah, do remember to check out the game. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.